in this video I'll tell you which questions you should prepare for your immigration check at any airport in Europe. So if you're traveling to any Schengen area, then it's good to remember these questions, because the immigration officer will ask you these questions, and if you don't provide all the information they need, then you might have to face delays at immigration, or you might have to face any kind of trouble. So if you want to avoid these kind of issues, it's good to prepare these questions in advance. If you're traveling to Schengen area for the very first time, you might be asked a different set of questions, and if you're traveling again, then you might be asked a different set of questions. So watch this video till the end, because I will tell you everything that you should know before you travel to any European country that comes under Schengen area. So I have been to many European countries in past year or two, and usually I've seen that there is no such rush at immigration checks compared to London or any other airport in the UK, because here in London, when you arrive here, there is a long queue and you have to wait for a while before your turn comes up. But in European airports, I've seen that the queue isn't that long. But I've seen that in certain European countries you are asked more questions, but in some you are not asked any questions. So for instance, when I went to Austria, or when I went to Hungary, they didn't ask me any questions. It was just like basic information that I had to provide. But when I went to Sweden, when I went to Stockholm, they asked me so many questions. So I will tell you everything in the video, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because I make lots of videos on Schengen visa, application process, and things that you should know if you're traveling to Europe. So do subscribe if you haven't. And now let's come to the questions. So if you're arriving in Europe for the very first time, some basic questions that they can ask you is, what's the purpose of your visit? And you can simply tell if you are visiting a family member or if you are there to travel. And then the second question is, how long will you stay here? So you should always remember for how many days you will be staying there. And the next question would be, where will you stay? So you might also have to tell them where you will be staying. You should have the address proof of the accommodation where you will be staying. If you are staying in a hotel, or if you are staying with a family member, then you can tell them their address if you have it with yourself. And then they might also ask you, how will you travel to your destination? It's a very simple question, and you can tell them you will be taking a cab or a bus, or you will be using public transport. And then they can also ask you to show your return ticket. So always keep your return ticket ready, so that you can prove them that you will go back once you are done with your travel plans. And if you're traveling to a Schengen region again, then the immigration officer can ask you how long was your previous trip. So you should also remember how many days you stayed in your last trip in any European country. And they will also ask you, in how many countries did you travel, which countries you went through during your visit, and you should know how many days you spent in each country, because they verify that with the stamps on your passport. And lastly, they will also ask you how many days you have remaining on your Schengen visa. So for instance, if you have been given 2 months to travel and you used 10 days in one trip, then you need to tell them how much time you have now left on your visa. So these are a couple of questions that are usually asked at immigration. Just keep your answers ready, and any relevant document like your return ticket or the address of the accommodation that you have booked, or if you are living with a family member, then you should have an address for that as well. There is no proof required, but you should have it written somewhere so that you can tell them when they ask you. And that's the end of the video. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. That's all from my side. Take care. Bye.